Let's learn some algebra step by step. And we're going to tackle this problem in this particular video. And what we have here is x to the 5th power being divided by x to the 7th power. And what we want to do is simplify this expression. So if you know how to do this problem, go to put your answer into the comment section. I'm going to show you three different ways you can do this problem. And one of those ways I think is very easy to understand. But by the time you leave this video, you're going to see and believe that yes, indeed, this was easy to do. Okay, so I'm going to explain this problem using kind of three models, all right? So the first is, let's just kind of understand what's going on here. So we have x to the 5th. What does that mean? Well, in algebra, this means we have x being multiplied by itself 5 times. So this is going to be x times x times x times x times x. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's all x to the 5th means. And then x to the 7th means we have x being multiplied by itself 7 times. So let's go write that down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is what we would call the expanded form of a power. Now, a rule in mathematics is the following, okay? These things are called factors. Notice they're being, we have a product, right? That's something that's the result of multiplication. So these individual components, let's say I have 10, right? 10 is equal to 2 times 5. 2 and 5 are the factors of 10, or the product of 2 and 5 is 10, okay? So let me just kind of use this basic example. If we have the fraction 10 over 20, okay, I can say, well, you know what, 10 is the same thing as 1 times 10, and 20 is the same thing as 2 times 10. So in math, if you have common factors in the numerator and denominator, like right here, we can cross cancel those. Those can go away, and we're left with the answer 1/2. So 10 over 20 is equal to 1/2. So what we're looking for is common factors in the numerator and denominator. Again, the numerator is the top part of a fraction, and the denominator is the bottom part. So looking right here, we have a whole bunch of common factors. So this x can cross cancel this x can cross cancel this x. It's 1 for 1. This one can cross cancel this one, and this one can cross cancel that one. And we got this one cross canceling this one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's cross canceling, but these 5 x's down here, and we're left with x times x, which is what down here in the denominator? It's the same thing as x squared. Now up in the numerator, we don't have anything, but we always have 1 as a factor. So we have 1 in the numerator and x squared right down here in the denominator. So our answer is 1 over x squared. So hopefully this is pretty easy for you to kind of grasp. Now, if you are kind of struggling with this, a couple things here. One, you probably need to do some review on fractions and or obviously powers and exponents. So I'm going to suggest checking out 1 or 2 of my math courses, all depending on what level you're at. Pre-algebra, if you need some fraction reviews. I also teach powers and exponents in that course as well, and or algebra 1. Okay, so this is kind of the level of math we're talking about. Okay, so 1 over x squared is the answer. Now let's talk about 2 other ways you can do this problem. And these 2 methods or approaches are kind of using some properties of exponents, things that you need to know, but I'm going to basically show you here real quick what you can do. Okay, so the first is we are dividing powers. Okay, so we can see here we have one power being divided by another power, and there is a rule in algebra that says a to the m over a to the n is equal to a over m minus n. Now that seems pretty complex, but basically what it says here is this. If you have a power and their base, when you look at a power like 2 to the 4th, the base is 2 and the 4 here is the exponent. Okay, the entire thing is a power. So if we have the same base, in this case we do, it's x and x, what we can do when we're dividing is subtract the exponents. Okay, what we do, we take the top exponent, and that's going to be first minus this denominator's exponent. Okay, so the exponent of the numerator and we're going to subtract that away from minus the denominator's exponent, right? Kind of stumbling in my words a bit. All right, so let's go ahead and show you this rule in action. So it's probably easier to show it than to explain it. So what we could do is take these two powers and simply subtract the exponents. But the first number here is the exponent from the numerator. Okay, so that's going to be 5, right? So it's going to be equal to, and we kind of write it this way, 5 minus 7. Okay, 5 minus 7. Not 7 minus 5. The order does make a difference. It's always going to be the exponent in the numerator. Okay, first, and then the denominator, just like this. So what do we have here? So we have x to the 5 minus 7, so that's x to the negative 2 power. Now, effectively, we are done. But remember, I said the answer is 1 over x squared. So why is that? Well, we don't like to leave our answers in algebra with a negative exponent. And there's another rule, and that rule is this: a to the negative n is equal to 1 over a to the n. So effectively, when you have a negative exponent, we can put that over 1, and it becomes positive. So that becomes 1 over x squared. Okay, again, it's following another property or law of powers and exponents. Now, these properties that I'm going over are things you absolutely need to know in algebra. Okay, but just doing this problem, hopefully this first kind of way to look at it is pretty easy. The problem here is that we're working with lower numbers, 5 and 7. If this was like 55 and this was 702, well, you don't want to write out a whole bunch of x's, right? You want to start subtracting these exponents. But there is a kind of a third way that you can think about doing this problem, and it's a bit of an off-take of this last property. Matter of fact, let me write this back up here. A to the negative n is equal to 1 over a to the n. And another way you can kind of think of that rule is the following. I can take this x to the 5th and I can move it down into the denominator. Okay, you're allowed to take any power that you want. If I got a power in the denominator, I can move it up into the numerator. If I got something up in the numerator, I can move it. I can move my powers between the numerator and denominator. Okay, but there's a little bit of a rule, a little bit of a change that you need to make. So if I want to write my x to the 5th, kind of rewrite this problem where x to the 5th is down in the denominator, the rule is the following. Whatever the sign of that exponent is, it needs to become the opposite. Okay, so for example, we're going to put this x to the 5th down next to this x to the 7th, and when I do that, instead of being x to a positive 5, it's going to become x to a negative 5. So it's going to be x to a negative 5, and that's going to be times x to the 7th. Okay, now when I move this down into the denominator, there's not like 0 left. There's always a 1 in its place. Okay, so now we have 1 over x to the negative 5th times x to the 7th. Okay, so now we're going to use another property. So down here, we're dealing with multiplication of powers, okay? And these powers have the same base. So what we need to do is add the exponents, okay? So this is following the rule a to the m times a to the n is equal to a to the m plus n. Okay, so again, when you have the same base, you're going to add the exponents. So negative 5 plus 7 is going to be 2x squared. So now we have 1 over x squared. Okay, so we looked at this problem, in 3 different kind of ways, but the main idea here is that, some of the main concepts of algebra are not that difficult. Okay, what gets more interesting is when you start doing more advanced algebra problems. Okay, you're definitely going to have to understand all these properties and laws of not only powers and exponents, but much, much more to be successful in algebra. But you absolutely can. But the bottom line is this: you're going to have to learn these skills one step at a time. So make sure you get the support you need and the instruction you need, because the instruction you're getting is going to make all the difference in the world, whether in fact you're going to actually understand this stuff. Okay? Well, hopefully this little video helped you out. If that's the case, don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.